A show of hands if you are a shift worker yourself or know of a loved one or a friend or a family member who may be a shift worker and is struggling to shift their weight. Hi, is shift work really the reason why your weight does not shift? My name is Dr. Arun Dheer. I'm a gastrointestinal and a weight loss surgeon, and I have been a shift worker for decades in the initial part of my training. Now, that is what we do as healthcare workers, whether you are a firefighter or you are in the police or a paramedic or whatever. Shift work is required. These are the emergency services on which our society relies heavily. However, the shift workers themselves need to know this because this is affecting their waistline and, more importantly, their overall health. Now, when I talk about shift work, the bottom line is, let's be clear, the shift work is when an individual is working set hours during a week. It could be night when they are asleep, or they are meant to be asleep during the day and they are working during the night, and then it shifts again to a daytime. What this leads to is a disrupted circadian rhythm. Now, that's a medical term for saying that we all have a biological rhythm in our body which identifies the body to function in a way that during daytime the process of metabolism are taking over, in the sense that you digest and you burn the calories, whereas at nighttime you rest and relax and repair and regenerate. When that cycle is disturbed, it creates a set of issues, unique circumstances for the body, and if one does not pay attention to this, it is very easy to get into those bad habits and cravings, because that is what starts to impact on the individual's weight and overall health and well-being. And in this video, without going too much into the science behind it, I will be talking about things that you can delete and things that you can add. These are lifestyle habits. And I'm going to talk about 3 lifestyle habits that I would urge you to think about deleting, and 3 lifestyle habits that I would urge you to start introducing. Now, please, I want to say this, that I have been a shift worker myself, and I acknowledge that shift work can cause you to crave certain foods, and part of the reason is that when you are sleep deprived, and I've worked in very unsafe, long, extended working hours without any breaks, and we know now that the science tells us that it affects your decision-making ability. And one of the first thing that starts to happen is that you start to make poor food choices. Your body craves sugar and caffeine, which leads to also another flow-on effect is you have got very low motivation levels. So when we put all of this into perspective, it starts to have a ripple effect, a domino effect on not just the food choices you're making, but also what you're doing at the time when you're not doing the shift work, because that has a bearing on how your health and well-being is eventually progressing. So let's get straight into the practical aspects of this. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the 3 habits that I would urge you to think about deleting or removing. First thing is, the bedroom and the cinema room or the television viewing room, if you have one in your house, are not the same. The mind and the body need to know that there is a place to entertain yourself, which is where you go and watch television, if that's what you do to entertain yourself. But then there is a place where you go to sleep and relax. And you should not have the bedroom, or you should not have the television in your bedroom. You shouldn't have the bedroom and the television room mixed up. So that's the first thing that I would say to you. The second thing, which is very important to keep in mind, is to block out the blue light. Now, what do I mean by that is that reduce your consumption of screens, social media, your phones, your laptops, at least 2 hours prior to you going to sleep. And the third thing that I would urge you to think about is don't eat when your body is not ready to process. What I mean by that is, suppose if you're going to have a sleep, don't have a big, greasy, cheesy meal which you're going to consume and just go to bed, because the body is not going to be able to digest it. It leads to not only digestive issues, but it leads to progressive deposition of visceral fat. So those are the 3 things that I would urge you to consider doing. And one thing which I could say is also try and make sure you're not consuming alcoholic or caffeinated beverages at least 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. So those are the 3 things that I want you to think about when it comes to shift work and what you need to do to remove them. But what do you introduce? All right, let's talk about that. So the first thing that I want you to think about introducing, as I've just said, is prioritizing your sleep. If you don't get good sleep, it has a cascading effect on your hunger hormones, poor motivation levels, and you will never be able to pull yourself out of that. So first thing is focus on prioritizing your sleep. And make sure that your area of sleep, you've got nice blockout blinds if that's what you need. Say you're sleeping during the day, you've got all these things, calm, cool temperature, because when you sleep, when you're cool, you take a warm shower if you need to, but then cool temperature. So that's the first thing that you do. Second thing is, when you are at work, so that you are doing a shift work, if you have the ability to graze every 1 or 2 hours on healthy snacks, and these could be things like nuts, carrot sticks with hummus, it could be a small tub of unsweetened yogurt or a small salad, but you are grazing on these snacks every 1 or 2 hours. What that is doing is, it does not let your sugar levels spike up or insulin levels go up and down. And the third habit that I'd love for you to introduce, which has got amazing benefits in helping you regulate these calories that you're consuming, is to hydrate. And by hydration, I mean not going for diet cordials and sodas and things like that. It's pure filtered water. That's what you need. Filtered water, I always say that because the water that is available now in the supply has got toxins, heavy metals, chemicals, and pollutants. So if you can get filtered water, that is the best thing you can do to yourself. So I hope this video has been useful, especially for shift workers. And I tell you, I hear so often when I get patients who are coming to the point of bariatric surgery that they have reached a point which is of no return and requires something as intense as bariatric surgery to shift their weight. But the problem is that it is the shift work which has not been managed properly that is contributing to this. So I hope you like this video. Do share it with other family and friends who may benefit from this, and do subscribe to my channel. Take care and stay safe.